2023 playoffs, and Jimmy
I
Butler
got
is
time.
absolutely owning the NBA. Or, as we like to call him at this time of year, Playoff Jimmy. Butler turned into an inferno to beat the #1 seeded Bucks, toyed with the Knicks in round 2, and embarrassed the Celtics as he carried the Heat to the NBA Finals as the 8th seed. All
And
while
didn't get
unleashing
to
some
win.
historical performances and talking trash to anyone in his vicinity. Jimmy's was a
the GOAT for a
problem.
reason.
Despite not winning the title, I don't think we'll ever forget Butler's 2023 playoff run, or see anything like it ever again.
Or even see anything like his damn career. Come on, bro. Ain't no one gonna do what Jimmy Butler been doing, bro.
8th seed in the finals?
Like,
That's
ever.
the stuff of legends. Or, in this case, that's the stuff of Playoff Jimmy.
Playoff Jimmy. Hey! When was this made? Because he's going crazy again. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's destroying the 2-seeded Rockets. Not by himself,
Butler's
but
historic 2023 playoff run was shocking, but considering what he did just a few years earlier, it was almost expected. When Jimmy joined the Miami Heat in 2020, the expectations were for them to be an average to above average team, and that's exactly what happened. They finished the season as the 5th seed, but the playoffs were a whole other story. They crushed the Pacers in round 1 and then sent shockwaves through the NBA as they upset the #1 seeded Milwaukee Bucks in round 2, followed by another stunner over the 3rd seeded Celtics to make it to the NBA Finals. No one saw this coming. Jimmy then went ballistic against the Lakers, showing that he was capable of delivering on the biggest stage. But unfortunately, his heroics weren't enough as they lost to LA in 6. At the end of the day, it was a successful first season for Butler as a Heat, and who knows, maybe they can run it back next year. Nah, I'm lying. In 2021, they got smoked in a rematch against Milwaukee, but it lit a fire under them, and they came back with a vengeance.
low-key kind of crazy how good the Heat was with Jimmy Butler for a while.
In 2022, Jimmy and the Heat returned to form, finishing the season as the top seed in the East, and a championship seemed like a true possibility. In the first round, they breezed past Atlanta in 5, Butler tormented the team that picked Tobias Harris over him in 6, and a 2020 Eastern Conference Finals rematch was on the horizon. It was Boston and Miami in another war of a series, one that saw the Celtics take a 3-2 series lead, headed back to TD Garden for a Game 6. And that's where Jimmy Butler went full 2012 LeBron on the C's.
Yes, he did. He shot the dookie stick in there.
Butler sneaks it. Pass stolen by Butler. Lays it up and in. Finds Butler. Butler turns, fires. It's good as the shot clock expires. Jimmy Butler, and it's a 6-point lead.
The dude went unconscious for 47, 9, 8, and 4, including 17 in the 4th quarter to secure the win and force a Game 7
That's how goats are made
Miami.
right there.
But despite Butler's incredible performance, the Heat didn't carry any of that momentum into Game 7, as they found themselves down 13 with 3 minutes to go in the 4th. That is until they caught fire. Out of the blue, Miami went on a white-hot 11-0 run to get themselves within 2. And as Jimmy pulled down a rebound with less than 20 seconds left, he has a chance to tie or take the lead.
He can tie for the lead.
Oh.
Butler risked it all as he pulled up for 3, but it was short, and that's it. Another heartbreaking end to the season for Jimmy and the Heat, just short of the
But the Lakers are gonna beat the Rockets. I don't know who they're gonna play next.
NBA Finals. The 2023 season was a lackluster, up-and-down campaign from Butler and the Heat. In fact, it was so disappointing, it landed them as the 7th.
Okay, say you already won. It's not telling me who's up. Okay, so whatever. So whoever wins here, it's gonna be the Timberwolves versus Warriors, and the Warriors' offense is their defense is good. The Warriors' defense is crazy, but yeah, they're beating the Wolves, so they're making it at least to here. At least to here. And the Thunder are probably gonna win unless they get upsetted. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but yeah.
Game against Atlanta, and it only got worse. Jimmy struggled with his shot as Miami got dogged at home in an 11-point loss, sending them to a second play-in game against the Chicago Bulls. Win and get into the playoffs, or
Yes, sir.
lose and the season is over.
It's over.
It was do or die, and thankfully, the Butler showed up. The man
The
served up
Butler, I
a
love it.
clutch
The Butler
31-point
showed up.
performance with 13 of those in the fourth quarter to clinch a spot in the postseason as the 8th seed. They got in by the skin of their teeth, but
They
bad
did.
news is they're facing the number 1 seed Bucks.
Massacre.
For the
Straight
third
dog
time in
walk.
4 years, Jimmy was facing Milwaukee in the playoffs, and this season was eerily similar to 2020. The underdog Heat, this time as the 8th seed, up against the NBA's overall number 1 seed. Will history repeat itself? Well, in Game 1, it looked like it might. Butler came out of the gates sizzling with a 24-point first half on the road, and you immediately knew this wasn't just any other 8 seed. Jimmy would finish the game with 35, 5, and 11 in a 13-point win to pull off the Game 1 upset. But the Bucks countered with a dominant performance in Game 2 to tie the series at 1, headed to South Beach, where Butler was feeling good back on home court. He lit it up with a 17-point first quarter, and from that point on,
Damn.
it was wraps. Jimmy has
That's his,
the
like,
second
magic
30
number,
piece of the
17.
series, and Miami goes up 2-1. This was a stunner. The Heat were
I will say the NBA playoffs can be the best playoff format, or like just the best playoffs in general. Because you just never know, man. It's a game of 7, and anything can happen. Literally, anything can happen. Injuries, players, just coaches, stuff like that. Some players heating up like
supposed to
crazy.
have
Just-
no chance against the championship contending Bucks.
Yeah.
But when you got Butler doing
You know what? Can I fill out a bracket? I'm gonna fill one out right now. I don't think I can right now. No, don't think I can. Oh well. That's cool. It's late. The playoffs already started. No biggie, no biggie, no biggie smalls.
Butler things, I guess anything's possible. And headed into Game 4 with a chance to take a 3-1 series lead, he activated playoff Jimmy.
Love a drive by Jimmy Butler. 2 in the second, 22 in the first, and laces one through. Butler around Ingles, up and down, up and down. It's loose. The lead Jimmy Butler sets up on 3. Butler. Long shot.
One of my favorite players, man. Rest in peace, Jimmy Butler.
A historic 56-point performance in this Game 4.
Playoff Jimmy had it stuck on automatic as he went nuclear for a career-high 56-point performance.
Yes, he
The
did.
4th most in NBA playoff history.
Really?
And it was capped off by a red-hot 21-point fourth quarter that had the building shaking. And not to expose the guy, but Jimmy was doing most of his scoring on Drew Holiday, one of, if not the best perimeter defender in the league. yet he was getting fried. Miami goes up 3-1. Back on the road for Game 5, Butler's annihilation of the Bucks didn't slow down at all. The dude popped off for 11 in the first quarter, including a nasty block on Grayson Allen's 3, followed by a two-handed punch at the other end. He was killing, but in the fourth is when he really turned it on.
That's right, he's my GOAT. That's why he's my GOAT. That's why he will forever be my GOAT. Forever. Look at this. Michael damn Jordan. And then Elgin Baylor? Really? I did not expect that. Then Donovan Mitchell is crazy. Donovan Mitchell being up here is nuts. He had to be on Utah, right? Utah Mitchell, right? Yeah, Utah. Jimmy, Michael Jordan again. Where's LeBron James at? We have Michael. Donovan. And then LeBron. And then Donovan again. And then Joel Embiid. Michael. LeBron. So, LeBron James overrated. This just proves to me that it wasn't about Michael Jordan's team. Oh, these LeBron haters, LeBron fans, are gonna cry. Michael Jordan literally carried his damn team. Different year. Like, Donovan Mitchell has more points. Dude, that's a crazy year. Damn.
With
LeBron James
2:30 to
overrated.
go, he muscles in an and one on Brook Lopez for his
Jason
35th
Tatum
point of
almost
the
as many
night,
points
and then
over that.
screams at Drew Holiday, telling him, "I own you." And just when you thought it couldn't get worse for Holiday, on
I
the
remember
very
this
next
moment.
possession, Butler greens a 3 right in his face to tie the game,
Drill it, baby.
and then stares him down. Jimmy had Drew in hell. In fact, he was in his head to such a degree that with a chance to put Milwaukee up 3 with 2 seconds left, Holiday makes just one of 2 free throws to put the Bucks up 2. Butler's master plan was coming together.
Over the top to Butler. Up and in! Jimmy Butler ties the game with a half second to go. What a play.
Nuts, man.
With 0.5 left on the clock, Jimmy Buckets throws in a ridiculous lob while falling down to send the game to overtime. This guy was unreal. In the extra
Unreal.
frame, he continues to torture Holiday as he splashes a spinning jumper for his 45th point of the night as he grills him again. This series was over. On some MJ
Facts.
type of energy, Butler averaged a ludicrous 37, 6, and 5 on the series on just absurd efficiency, carrying Miami to make
Disgusting.
history as they become just the 6th, 8th seed to defeat a 1 seed in NBA history. Playoff
The 2012 Sixers did that.
Jimmy
What?
has officially arrived. Seed in NBA history.
Crazy.
Playoff
dog.
Jimmy has officially arrived, and he's off to round 2.
The one thing you don't want to do is let Jimmy Butler heat up any point in the playoffs. Don't let him heat up in any point in the playoffs.
It was Heat versus Knicks in round 2, and to make things interesting, the last time an 8 seed made the conference finals was when New York beat Miami in 1999. 24 years later, Jimmy was looking to flip the script. In game 1, he stayed hot as he dropped 25, 11, and 4. But with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, it got dicey. On a drive to the basket, Jimmy suffered a major ankle sprain, And by his reaction, there's
Nicked his
no
ankle,
doubt
too.
he's seriously injured. He'd tough it out to play the rest of the game to secure the win and go up 1-0, but that ankle was a major concern. He'd end up missing game 2 as the Knicks pulled out the win to tie the series at 1. And that was it. Jimmy had seen enough.
I'm
The
back,
man made his
bitch.
return in game 3 at home, igniting the crowd with a 28-point night. They smoked New York, he was taunting Josh Hart, and the menace was officially back. Miami kept the momentum going in game 4 as Butler delivered a dominant two-way performance to take a 3-1 series lead. And with a chance to close it out in the Big Apple, they stunk it up. So game 6 would have to do the trick. With a 4-point win at home, Butler and the Heat do it again, upsetting the top seed to become just the second team to move on to the conference finals as the 8th seed. And for the cherry on top, they'll have a chance to make history against the team that sent them home 1 year ago.
This is nuts.
The Heat are back in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston for the second year in a row, which is funny because Jimmy predicted this.
Did he really?
What do you think you guys need to cross the threshold?
Figure out a way to be consistent. So we had enough. Next year, we will have enough, and we're going to be right back in the same situation.
That's
and we're going to get it done.
Butler knew
He really
they'd be back,
manifested that shit,
but
bro.
the question is, can he stay true to his word and get the job done? Well, in the first quarter of game 1, the answer would be yes. As part of a 12-point first quarter, he was burying mid-range jumpers, doing his thing around the rim, and talking a lot of trash. He wanted this, and with just over a minute to go in the fourth, with the Heat up 7, Butler got his chance at a do-over.
Butler with Brogdon on him. It's a long. Jimmy frickin' Butler puts it in.
On a near carbon copy right wing 3 that he was short on just a year ago, this time he gets just enough on it to get the bounce over the rim to cap off a flat out dominant performance to win game 1. Headed into game 2, Jimmy had his sights set on stealing another game in Boston, and at the end of the first half with the Heat up 4, it was looking good. But the C's roared right back in the second, and as Grant Williams hit a 3 halfway through the fourth that put Boston up 9, he gets a little excited.
Grant
For
Williams,
whatever
I hate that
reason,
dude.
he gets right in Butler's face and starts running his mouth. Like, what are you doing, bro? Don't you know this is playoff Jimmy?
Look at him! He's just a demon, bro.
Butler a bump, the grind, the gyration, and the 2 in the foul. And they're having words. Look at this.
He's just a demon, bro.
Shot clock at 4. Here he accelerates and finds 2. They gave him the too small. Butler drives Andre Williams.
Just a straight demon.
Butler will tie it at 100. Assignment. This is what he wants. Inside for the lead. That's what he wants. Grant Williams on him.
Butler clapped right back at Grant Williams, scoring 9 consecutive points on his head, while also getting right in his grill, calling him too small, and telling his bench that he can't guard him. It was insanity. Miami is headed back home with a 2-0 series lead thanks to another masterful performance by Jimmy, with 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Thank you, Grant Williams. Back on home soil, they kept their foot on the gas with an overpowering
Where the fuck is Grant Williams at now? I don't even know. I actually don't know. Is he still in Charlotte, actually?
26-point win to take a 3-0 series lead. And do I gotta remind you that no team has ever
he's in
come
Charlotte.
back from an 0-3 deficit.
He got banished to
They're 0-150
Charlotte.
to be exact.
That's what he gets.
Final is going to be Boston on top, 116-99. Big win, avoiding elimination. They have been great in these elimination games. Winning it tonight.
He's got to be aware of Derek White on the quick pass back also.
White will inbound. It
It's off to Smart for the seventh game. Commanded tipped in, but the buzzer sounded. The light was on. It'll be reviewed.
That's also a foul on Caleb Martin anyway. You can't push a guy in midair.
The offensive rebound. Oh, he got rid of it. That's a Celtic win, and we're going to game 7. The Celtics are going to win. There's a game 7 back in Boston. Stunned. People here are absolutely stunned.
Off an improbable putback buzzer beater by Derek White, the Celtics are
I hate
forcing a
Derek White.
do-or-die Game 7 back in Boston. I can't believe it. Butler and the Heat had all the momentum in the world through the first 3 games, but at the snap of Derek White's fingers, it was all gone. It's gonna take a miracle to muster up a win in Game 7, and a miracle is what they got. From seeming like they were dead in the water, Miami resurrected themselves at the right time in a dominant Game 7 performance, beating the brakes off the Celtics by 19 on their home court. Butler stayed true to his word from a year ago, carrying the Heat to the NBA Finals as the 8th seed.
Yes,
We were
he did, yes,
witnessing
sir.
history. Jimmy's going to be back on the big stage for the first time since 2020,
Holy shit.
with an even bigger challenge in front of him.
That was really the Nuggets?
And somehow,
So it was the Nuggets and then the Celtics. What was it the year before? Is that the Celtics Warriors?
Miami's in the NBA Finals. Nearly 2 months ago, Jimmy and the Heat were in the play-in game, just one loss away from not even making the playoffs. 2 months later, they're here on the big stage against a Denver Nuggets squad on a mission. After a loss in Game 1, Miami stole Game 2 in Denver to tie the series at 1. But sadly, that's all we get. The Nuggets proved to be too much to handle, ending Miami's Cinderella run in 5.
too much
as
star
Butler
power for the
suffered
Nuggets.
another heartbreaking defeat in the finals.
Too much star power.
Despite not winning the title, Jimmy Butler's 2023 playoff run will without a doubt go down in history.
Yes, sir.
From
Yes,
iconic
sir.
moments and performances, to simply watching him upset championship contenders with his style of FU basketball was beyond entertaining. Playoff Jimmy was an experience that will never be forgotten.
Or even replicated.
It's over. At last, finally call them.
Get my joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon.
Yeah.